Welcome to Week 6 of Principles of Adult Education. We are beginning Chapter 4, Self-Directed Learning. And we'll take a look at self-directed learning from a number of different aspects, including going to the International Society for Self-Directed Learning. And we have a project with self-directed learning that is personal, looking for patterns that we find in our own learning projects. We are also, this week, in our getting ready for our Day of Lifelong Learning project, which is due next week. I had the original due date on the 22nd, but let's move the due date to the 24th, which is Thursday. That allows us to post about the Day of Lifelong Learning, but also to learn about it for next week. So I'm just going to briefly scroll down, and you will see the Day of Lifelong Learning information is already open for you. So you'll be able to utilize next week's information as well as this week so that you can prepare for your Day of Lifelong Learning project. Again, we're going to post that next Thursday, and it's due right here. By the way, when we finish this week, I will move that down to our Day of Lifelong Learning week, and then you will see the portal for submitting your project there. So let's just take a look at what we have in store for this week. Again, Chapter 4, Self-Directed Learning. So self-directed learning, what is that about? That's one of the principles of andragogy, is that we've reached as adults a time in our lives when we want to choose our learning ourselves. And oftentimes when we are doing informal learning, we want to do it in a self-directed way. For example, if you are going to be taking a trip, you might Google the different areas in which to go and look for opportunities to map out the trip you most want to take in a self-directed way, with a very intentional, purposeful way of pursuing those activities and entertainment venues that you most want to follow. On the other hand, you might have a health issue and want to self-directedly look in books, in other resources that you have available to you, looking online to find out more about that particular situation. I've recently been told that I am pre-diabetic, and that was a big surprise for me. And so I have been looking, Googling, getting information from my doctor, doing all kinds of different things to identify what I should be doing to hopefully avoid going actually into diabetes and that diagnosis. So I'm very interested, and self-directed learning gives us an opportunity to, on our own, and with the resources that we can find, do something purposeful about those things that are of interest to us. I actually have my dissertation research in self-directed learning, and an aspect of it that I call congruous autonomy that you might actually find interesting. If you would want to have me post that particular article, I'd be happy to do that. Grows self-directed learning that you'll find in our text is, I think, of particular interest, and it looks like that's on page 70. Grow takes self-directed learning. He actually puts a grid together and goes from highly dependent learning to interdependent learning, where you are where as a learning professional, as an educator, that person, rather than taking the learner by the hand, that person now isn't even a coach or mentor. That person is actually just available if the learner has want for resources that you as the educator can provide. So you get a very different role when the person is highly self-directed and interdependent in the purposeful pursuit of interests for that person. Much different than where the individual starts out, that might be very dependent and want high direction from an educator and have a clear step-by-step map of what to do next in the learning path. So GROW gives us the stages of self-directed learning. So that leads us through what our chapter is going to be talking about. Again, that's chapter 4 of our text. Leads us into getting ready for a project, the Day of Lifelong Learning. It's a 10-point project. I here have it due the 22nd, but remember we're changing that to the 24th, to Thursday. Thursday is when we're going to post our activity. I want you to go to Maurice Given's website, click on the icon to watch his video, and then read the separate posting, 12 Laws of Self-Directed Learning, and describe how you are a self-directed learner utilizing one or more of Gibbon's laws. And so this will be kind of a personal activity for you to see where you are in self-directed learning and what of the Gibbon's 12 laws that you might find really speak to you. Okay, again, that's going to be on Thursday, posting your project. Of course, that's this Thursday coming up that we're going to be talking about Maurice Gibbon's website. So that's going to be this Thursday, and then it's the following Thursday, the 24th, when our Day of Lifelong Learning is due. All right, let's go back to our website. And so here is our activity where you will look for the patterns. Here is where you're going to go for the self-directed learning, and here's Gibbon's 12 laws. Again, the Day of Lifelong Learning graphic description is right here, and the Day of Lifelong Learning portal to submit your project on the 24th, so a week from this Thursday, is when that is due. More information about that is available right up here in our Day of Lifelong Learning project. So we've got the instructions and the rubric, and then we can come right down here and our Day of Lifelong Learning project. For this week, self-directed learning. For next week, Day of Lifelong Learning. All right, and that gets us started. Here we are in week 6. I look forward to seeing you in the forum.